Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session of the Marine API Tech Talk and Office Hours. I just saw someone wrote in a message that they like the vibe of this song, so I'm glad you enjoy it. It's a fresh start for this session. And well, let's get started. What we have for today is something different from Apigee topics. We're going to be talking about integration agents with Simon being our speakers. But before that, giving you a bit of an introduction to what this community is all about. The Marine API community is meant to be a community for enthusiasts in Apigee and application integration. Originally, this community was started by Luis Cuellar in Madrid, but now we're taking this community in a worldwide extension. So thanks everyone for joining us. We hope this session will be valuable to you. The simple rules that we usually have, we're going to be having this time a presentation by Simon. At the end, we're going to be having Q&A. And as you know, we meet every Thursday with exceptions from time to time. All these sessions will be recorded and you'll be able to find them via the Google Cloud community at the events section. But in case you need anyone in any recording in a specific, you can take a look at the forums for Apigee or application integration within the Google Cloud community. And in there, you will see the link to all of the previous recordings we have had. And last but not least, if you'd like to be a speaker in this session, feel free to reach out to any of us. We will be happy to have you in this stage to share the knowledge with the community. So before we start, remember that we have the Q&A. You can look for these three shape icons in your Google Meet. And then you can drop your questions in there. Simon, quick question. Do you want us to go through the questions as they come along, or do we leave them at the end?
Yeah, let's have them as they come along. That's fine.
All righty. Thanks. Then just so that I can introduce you to the speaker of today, Simon is the outbound product manager for application integration. So without nothing more to say, welcome everyone, and thanks Simon for being our speaker today.
With pleasure. Thank you very much, Alexandra. Hi everybody. So today I want to talk to you about application integration, which is one of the platform we have at the Google Cloud platform. But as well, I want to focus this on specifically on two topics. The first one, as Alexandra said, will be the agentic experience that we can enhance with application integration. And we're gonna, if we have time, we're gonna talk about a second topic that I heard people that wanted to have like news about is templates, which is a new feature that we have in application integration. Can you raise your hand? Anybody who know already application integration? Just want to know if I'm like going back to the basics or not. Yeah, so one person knows application integration, 2, 3. Okay, I'm still gonna start from some basic just for everybody's like on the same page. So application integration, it's our iPaaS platform at Google. It's like a platform where you can integrate services together. So it could be SaaS services, it could be on-prem services as well, as we can have like a hybrid connectivity to reach the on-prem platform. And in general, we have like a designer that allow our customer that could be like not necessarily developer, could be developer, but people who don't like or know how to develop can use the platform as well. We have like kind of no code and low code kind of approach. So I will show you a designer that you can reuse in app integration. We have as well a bunch of connectors, which is a very important part as well for the topic of today. The connector will allow you to connect to different platforms within GCP and outside GCP as well. And you can make transformation in your workflow. Like for example, from an event that happened in Salesforce, you want to catch this event and you want to transform it because you need some mapping, you need some transcoding in order to put it at the right place at the right time. So we have the tool for that as well. So we work basically with Trigger, with any transformation tools that I will quickly present, and with connectors that allow you to connect to within and outside GCP. Application integration is a managed services that we have in GCP, so you don't have to worry about the infrastructure. it scales with like Google standards and Google network, of course, and you can regionalize the service in each GCP region. Okay. So the way it works is like you will have this trigger this trigger at the left. A trigger could be an API call. Like for the people that are working in Apigee, a trigger can be a code that is going from to Apigee, and that is then forwarded to app integration. Could be an agent. That's what we're going to see today. That is calling an API in integration to make an action or to get some information. It could be a message in terms of like message broker or event broker or message queuing and so on. So let's say in input you could have like a Kafka, a PubSub, a RabbitMQ, Solace, or this kind of like eventing platform. It could be a CDC. So let's change data capture in SAP, in Salesforce, and so on. Or it could be something that is more like schedule or manual that you have in input. At the right, in the output, you will have another platform that you want to connect to, where you want to send the message. Could be a database, it could be a platform within Google or outside Google, a SaaS platform, another message queuing that makes sense as well, and so on. And in the middle, you basically will be able to apply, when that makes sense, of course, for you, like business workflow, and could be data mapping, could be transcoding, as I said, could be filtering, could be merging. If you want to merge like different API together, that's what we call with API fulfillment and API mashup and so on. Yeah, I'm happy to share the slide. Like maybe Alexandra, you can share my email in the chat. And if anyone wants to have like more information or the slide share, I'm happy to do that. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so that's the let's say the global view. Few things before we start that, because I think that they're important, is that one of the differentiators that we have in application integration compared to other kind of integration platform. So first, like we are like at Google standard in terms of like design usability is like quite easy, and it's a platform that is very easy and nice to work with, of course. But on top of that, we basically including in the platform, at least as a technology, the AI platform, and especially the code assist technology that we have at Google. So for example, to create an integration, you can just prompt it. You can say to Gemini, hey, I would like to have like an API trigger that is then sending to a data mapper and then getting a doc on Google Cloud Storage and then doing something, another thing, and at the end push it to Salesforce. Okay, you prompt that, and basically Gemini will create the structure of the integration for you. So that's very cool way of starting an integration, more than starting from a blank page. So that's the kind of thing you will have. We'll have as well. So that's what you can see here. Like for example, process and message PubSub. We have some prompt that are already there if you want to look at them. You see the structure that is going there, and you can confirm and create you can start your integration from this prompt. Okay. Other thing that you can do as well. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry about that. They're asking, is application integration part of the Apigee ecosystem, or are they separate services offered by Google?
So that's a very good question. Just, it's true that I didn't give you the history of this platform. It's a platform that we used internally at Google at first. It's actually our integration platform that we have for own services, including, for example, how to integrate like GCP services with our Salesforce within Google and so on. So it starts as something that we built for ourselves at Google. And like many services, I don't know, BigQuery is on top of my mind. For example, that was internal technology that we provided to our customers. So we did the same as well for app integration. And the first release that we have was linked to Apigee. This is true, and we had this Apigee integration at first that because we had a lot of API kind of use case. But now, as of today, is not the case anymore at all. So app integration is a separate services from Apigee, and it can be used without any API. Yeah, I mean, it can be a use case, right? So you can have in input a PubSub and in output a BigQuery, and there is no API management in it. So of course, we still have a lot of customers that use it with Apigee because it can make sense for filtering your API and create a composable IT system where you have like interfaces everywhere by API. And application integration would be one of the key to quickly build those interfaces. So it's like creating backend API with low code, no code instead of coding it in your platform. So that's a use case, but not only. Does that answer the question? Perfect.
We got a thumbs up, so thank you, Simon.
No problem. And actually, so that's, I will show the platform, which is better than making a lot of slides. There is actually two services even. So it's app integration is actually one services that you can see here, like the integration services. And we have another services, which is there. And you understand why this is important. So the first one is app integration, and the second one is integration connectors. Okay, so it's actually two services, and until now, these two services were working together. So basically, to use connector that you have, like you can see here, I have a bit of like BigQuery, some Workspace, some Salesforce, some SQL, some like translation, commerce tools, and so on and so on. To use this connection that I can create in my connection platform, I need to basically create an integration. So I don't know, let's work at, yeah, we'll do something maybe with without Apigee. So you can see the, yeah, this one is nice. This one doesn't use any Apigee. Just to show you an example that don't have Apigee. I will zoom because I know my screen is quite big. So in this one, for example, you have in input Kafka trigger. So basically, I'm like getting event from a Kafka topic, and then I'm extracting the message, and depending of what I want to do, like if the message is like an email, I will send an email. If it's an API, I will send it to Apigee. If it's Salesforce, I will send it to Salesforce. And if an incident, I will actually send it to ServiceNow. Okay, so it's more like kind of an event streaming broadcast that I'm doing in this integration. So there, when I have this Salesforce connection, basically I can configure it from application integration and get the Salesforce instance that are available. And then the beauty of the connection is that you see I have the entities and action. If I start with entities, for example, I can list all the entities from Salesforce that are available. So there is 100 of them, like you can see there is many of them. And very simply, you can say, okay, I want to look at the opportunities from Salesforce. And then I will have a CRUD action, like I can get them, list them, create a new one, and so on and so on. So there is a part, of course, when I did all the authentication to this connection to be able to use my credential or the user credential as well, that's possible to connect to Salesforce. But once I did that, and I have my connection that is ready there, basically I can reuse it as a connector in an integration. In this case, an event coming to Kafka, and then I can send it to Salesforce when it makes sense.
Thanks, Simon. We have another question.
Yep.
Is Apigee required to be able to use app integration, and how does the licensing for this work?
Okay, so the answer is no. Apigee is not required to use app integration. In my example, I don't have Apigee. Like so it's not required. The licensing, so it's online. You can look at it. The licensing is basically so you can start with pay as you go. So we'll give you some free tier if you want to start right now. I think there is a couple of hundred of integrations so that you can try, which are free. So we're not going to bill for them. There is a couple of connections as well, which are free. We're not going to bill for them. And so you can try for free. Then if you want to go further, there is a pay-as-you-go model that you can use just to to basically run your integration, your connection, and there will be a data processing as well. The data processing is linked to integration. So we calculated it to be like dependent on your integration, but it's very simple pricing model. So number of integration that you run, the data that is processed, and the number of connection that you have. Basically, it's like this, only these three metrics. And of course, after the pay-as-you-go model, if you prefer to have a subscription, you can have a subscription like with a package, with a negotiated subscription contract and so on. Okay, so very flexible, and you can start slow and go to a subscription when you're ready. Okay. Okay, so I see the time running. Yeah, I mean that was like the main point. Let me know if you have any question about app integration, and I'm happy to go through it. I will even anyway go back to the template after, because that's something I wanted to show you. But in a nutshell, application integration is the integration platform that includes a lot of connectors that we provide at Google. Okay. Now, let's talk about AI agents. An AI agent, and maybe just one question for who is using conversational agents in the room, like Agent Builder. Can you raise your hand if anybody is using Agent Builder? Not so much. Okay. Okay. So if you want to create agents, one of the ways to create agents in GCP is Agent Builder. So I will actually start there. Just make a quick intro of Agent Builder. So you will find your Agent Builder within your GCP console. Just I didn't show it, but of course, if you're in GCP, you put application integration, you can find it there. The same for connector. And if you want to go with Agent Builder, just type agent, and you will find all these services are GCP services that you can use right now from your GCP console. So when you create Agent Builder, an agent with Agent Builder, you have the possibility. Let me check which one I'm going to use. 1 second. I think I created one for today. So Agent Builder is a platform. Yeah, this one I created for today. So it's a platform to create agents. So basically, when you create an agent, you will have a set of tools. So Playbook is one of the way basically to explain to your AI agents how you can interact with the user. So that's basically written what the agents will do, and give him some instruction, in a way. And what is going to be very interesting as well today is the tools, because an AI agent, of course, it can be a Q&A, like answering question based on an LLM model. That could be just Q&A. But if you want the AI agents to be more useful to your user or to your customer, then it's a good idea to have some tools where your AI agent is actually connected to your platform. And that's where app integration and connector comes into play. This is actually a critical part of any AI platform. The AI platform at one could be an LLM model, could be an AI agent. You will need to connect them to your platform internally. You will need to connect them to third-party platform as well. And you want to do that in a governed way, like in an industrialized way. So that's where we come in play. Integration platform will connect the agents basically to the rest of the world. And to do that, we use tools. So there is a couple of tools that you can use. One of them is an API, so an open API that you can use. And the idea is that you will put an API tools in your agent that is using a specification, API specification, to know what it can do. Like the agent can read the API spec to say, okay, I know that I can create incidents, and I can do this, and I can do that, and so on. And of course, you have the authentication part, which allows the agent to basically connect to the API in various ways, like OAuth, API key, token, and so on. Okay.
Thanks,
So,
Simon.
yeah.
We've got another question.
Sure.
If we have to use a Stripe connector, for example, or any payment connector, do we just simply connect and transact the payment through that, or does it become more complicated having a separate payment gateway in place?
So the question, okay, the question is about the authentication of the user on the Stripe, for example. Okay, I think I will answer. I think I understand, but if I don't, please rephrase it. So you have the Stripe connector. Okay, very good. Yeah, Tala.
Yeah, sorry, it was my question.
Yeah,
So I had a client who needed, so they were making different payments around, right? So they wanted to see that instead of having a payment gateway or anything particular in place in terms of connecting with Apigee and the whole infrastructure, is it possible to only have application integration and just use Stripe as one of the connectors for payment, so to make the payments through it? So does it become easier for that, or would they still require a payment gateway in order to channel the payments?
Okay, so I see what you mean. So we have a connector. Okay, let me find it. We have a Stripe connector. I need to check because the Stripe connector. I just need to check if it's like if it's can be used as a gateway. Yeah, confirm payment. So yes, so you can let me share my screen here. So you have like this list of connectors that you have here, which is a public URL that you can get, and then you can see basically where are the connectors, and this is all the third-party connector which are outside of GCP, and the Stripe one is there. Here you can see basically all the configuration that you can have. So you have like a list of entity and operation, which is what I show you just before with Salesforce, and then you can have some action as well. I can see that. Let's see what are the examples. You have like amount received. So you can, for me, you can basically play with the data you have in Stripe with your own accounts. I need to double check what exactly can you do in terms of payments. I never used this connector, to be honest, but okay. Basically that's the type of action that I would do. Like yeah, capture the intent, list the confirm payment, and so on and so on. So I think to be checked with exactly what you expect from the payment gateway. But one thing important as well, just to make that clear, integration will not like redirect you to a UI where you can pay. That's not like the design of the platform. It's more like a middleware basically to connect platform together. If you want to check what has been paid from Stripe from your system to confirm a payment, yes, I think that's the right. But if you want the user basically to be redirected to a UI where he can enter his Stripe account and pay, that's another type of integration. That's more like UI type of integration. We are really between systems that need to be integrated together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so just going back to my agent, what I was saying there is that once you basically define an API there as a tool, your agent can be connected to the world and basically interact with your platform. If I keep the Stripe example, that means that I could build an agent where I could list, for example, the last payment I did, and what has been confirmed or not. You know, it doesn't mean that I can pay, but at least I can interact with the data that is on my Stripe platform. Okay. In my example, I will do something more simple than maybe everybody would understand. What I want to do is being able from an AI agent to create ticket on ServiceNow. Okay, so I want a smart agent, basically an AI agent, to help me go through the process of create a ticket, and I don't want to go to ServiceNow basically to do that. I would like to stay in my agent. This agent as well, here it's a demo, but could be in a workplace or in Slack. It could be like in the chatbot that I want. So after it's more on the conversation agent part, that you can integrate this agent with the way. So you can see basically I have an environment. I have my playbook that I defined. The playbook was very easy, something like just like create the user, summarize the user request, clarify if needed, and use this tool, which is the tool of incident that I will show you after, to help the user create an incident and so on and so on. So then I choose a model. I will choose with Gemini 1.5, and I start my conversation. So my agent, like depending on the playbook, is starting to answering me. I will say that I want to do something like this. So I want to create an incident for my employee, Pierre Lagarde, which is reporting his Android Pixel 8 stolen in Paris yesterday. Okay, and I'm like Abraham Lincoln. Actually, this Abraham Lincoln can be as well. Can be something that you can you can take from the agent itself. So taking the identity of the person which is logging on the agent and forward it to the platform is something that we can support as well. But here for the demo, I just like say my name. So sorry. Sorry about that. So yes, that's what I want to do. I want to report a stolen Android phone from Pierre Lagarde. I need a bit more information. Can you tell me the urgency level of this? That's actually important. I put high. And please give me a description of the incident. Okay, I will maybe just yeah. I think you want a bit more information. I will just copy paste something like this. And my agent will basically create the flow in ServiceNow. What's happening on the behind basically is exactly this. So what my agent now is doing is called an app integration flow that I will show you just after. And it's basically creating an incident, and then it will check like what are the urgency of the incident, and if it's a high urgency, it will do something. So that's basically what we call. Let me show you the integration. That's what we call a deterministic workflow, meaning that I could have given, and technically I will explain it's possible, I could have given this directly the platform to the agents, saying that you can just create ticket in ServiceNow. And that's okay, that can work. But that's limited to simple action. That's not very governed. We're not we are not able to decide which path the agent can use. And maybe depending of the business rule of your context, you want to be able to do that. So here, what I did is basically created an integration flow that was starting with an API trigger that was creating the incident in my ServiceNow connector that you can see as before. Like I just basically created here, and I selected the entities and the action that I can do. So here, just like I did incident and then creation and create. Okay, so I said to this workflow, you can create incident in ServiceNow. And from there, I started to get a bit more like my workflow getting a bit more advanced. So, for example, here I wanted to get the incident details. So once the incident is created, I can get all the details from the incident. If we look it there, that means something like this. You can see that's all the metadata that ServiceNow is now getting back to me regarding what was the incident. You can see the incident number. You can see who was creating it. Like this was for Pierre. This was created by Abraham Lincoln, and so on and so on. Okay, you can see the description. So now what I want to do is, depending on something, like for example here, I want to extract the urgency. So that's something very easy to do in the data mapper in application integration. Like I get the result and I select basically the field urgency that I put in a variable. And then I say, depending if this is urgent, meaning that like my urgency is 1, like this is all service now, sorry, validated. I will have an email, which is look something like this. It's quite simple. I could have done something a bit better, but urgent incident to look at, and with all the information that I have there, who created the ticket for who, and so on and so on. Okay, so basically the idea is to empower your agents to do the action that it needs, which is creating a ticket. But in the way you want to have a workflow that is a bit more advanced than just creating a ticket. And for example, getting the urgency and do something could be something useful for you. For example, here I'm sending an email. I could have posted something in a Slack forum. There is an important incident right now. Please look at it. That's something that app integration could definitely have done. Take a pause to see if there is any question.
No questions in the chat or in the Q&A, but if anyone wants to raise your hand, please feel free to do so.
Okay. Continuing the story. So how did I link the both? What you can do today, and everything I'm showing you is like available, and you can test it yourself, right? There is nothing private on what I'm showing right now. So once you have your integration, which is like connected to ServiceNow and so on, you can publish it, which is what I did here. And when it's published, you can create an open spec from there. So you will click on open spec. You will have the open specification from your app integration that you can copy, and you can put in your agent. Sorry, so you can now understand how to create the ServiceNow ticket and what are the options available, and so on and so on. Okay, so just a simple copy paste there. So your integration is now a tool or an AI agent. To wrap up this part, let me show you this slide, and I want to introduce as well something new that is coming. What I show you right now is the one in the middle. So you have a commercial agent from a question that need to access to a platform. Here my platform was ServiceNow, and I used application integration and a connector to ServiceNow. And I build what we call a deterministic workflow, which is a path that the agents need to follow to basically answer this question to solve this business case. What I could have done as well, and definitely a good practice in terms of API management, is to have Apigee in front of application integration and the connector. So you have like all your applications that are managed by all your API, sorry, managed by API, with the security involved, with the exposition, with the developer experience that you all know. And from there, of course, Apigee can directly connect to integration. Actually, when you create a proxy in Apigee, let me show you that. When you create a proxy in Apigee, you have the possibility to have integration as a target. So now I'm in Apigee, and you can see that in the different term of proxy, I have the integration there. So you could very easily say, I build my integration. This integration is like this integration is an API, and now I want to have a proxy of Apigee in front of my integration. You can do that in a couple of clicks. And you will select basically the target that you have here. You can have multiple targets if you want. That's something that you can configure right from the proxy. And all the triggers that are from the target are basically available in your list, and you can just select if it's like synchronous or asynchronous and just create it. Okay. So that would be like a nice way of basically having UI agent that is talking to an API which is managed and visible for you. And the last part, which I cannot show you now because we're still in private preview, but if you are interested in this one, definitely like you can get in contact to me and we can talk about like activating for you. Is a very simple way for your AI agents to connect to the world, which is basically to use directly the connectors. So what you have seen in the application integration, we say, okay, I want to take my ServiceNow connector and just like allow like a create a dissonance. We have built a similar experience within conversational agent, so you can do that as well. And conversational agent can call a connector to create a ticket or to list a ticket or to do the action that you wanted to do. Okay. Any question on that?
When it will be generally available for the customers?
You mean the connector one?
Yep.
We plan to have it in public preview in Q1. That's the current planning. So I'm hoping that you know, in like at least in a bit more than a month, you will be able to test that directly without having to go to the private preview.
Okay, I see.
We have the step on private, public, and then GA. Everything else that I show you, like all the app integration and connector and Apigee, of course, all of that is GA.
Okay. Yep, thank you. We will send an email regarding obtaining access while it is in beta, and then happy to share to the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. Any more questions on this? What I can maybe just share as well, if you want, you can of course do this replay, but if you want to, there is one of my colleagues from US, Matt, just share a very nice article on this one that you can find here on the Google Cloud community that is having like a live example of exactly what I shown. So if you want to share that with your colleague or your customer, definitely I encourage you to look at this video. It's very well explained. Okay, now let's go back. The second topic of today was the template. So if I'm coming back here to my application integration, what we introduced, one of the things that we introduced recently, there is actually a couple of things, but we have to like filter on what we share for the moment in the community. Is one of the things that is very nice is the template. So if you already work with app integration and you have not seen that, definitely I encourage you to look at it. What are the templates? There are two things. Then there's two goals for the template. The first goal is to provide template by Google to help you start on a use case or help you solve like a technical integration that you want to create. So you want to, I don't know, listen to PubSub and send a mail. Okay, that's quite easy one. We have a template for that. You are looking for more like a synchronization or kind of ETL kind of a scenario, like real-time or batch. We have a couple of templates for that. You are looking to create an AI project with Vertex AI and Gemini. We actually have a template for that also. Let me actually show you this one. So the Gemini and Vertex AI template look like this. It's basically an integration that is already built. In this, the goal of this one is explained there is like to prepare to simply use the Vertex AI connector that we have, and then to prepare the request and to pass the response. So you will have an API or a private trigger that is doing that and getting the response. In this template, we are including as well some good practice from Google, like the error catcher. Okay, so here we have an error catcher that is implemented. So it's a good way as well for you to see what could be the best practice from Google, depending on like a specific use case. If we go to something else, like go to this one to change a bit, that is actually even more complex. We have quite a bit more advanced use case there, a bit more complex, which include SQL, getting data from MySQL. So with example of SQL query that you can do, and different connector. So to show you how I could use this one, you click on use the templates. You give it a name, SL MySQL create, and you give it a region. So very similar to what you will do like creating an integration. And once you do that, so one of the nice things we have in template is config variable that are already there. So this is very nice because this gives you like example of what you can put in your config variables. So you can change it, of course, but you know basically what are some example of variable that you can have in your config variable. And then you have your integration. I don't know if this is maybe not very large for you. So you can see several things there. There is a schedule trigger, so more in a batch way that is getting data from MySQL. So here you have your connector. One good practice for that is to create the connector before. That's actually explained when you have the template. So you will first create your connectors and then create your template and then attach the both. You have a for each parallel loop that depending on the result of the MySQL, like you will loop on the result, and then we are getting the time with a now function and updates something in like in SQL. And for each of them, we are processing basically each contact, extracting variables. So that could be like simple data mapper, like take the key and putting in another variable. And we continue the flow, which this flow can be like depending on the result of the flow can be like in 2 different branches, and then you continue integration in each of the path depending on what you have. And you can see here that either we are updating MySQL at the end, or that we are updating contact information in Salesforce. I think the difference is like if the Salesforce ID is null, then we stay in MySQL. But if it's not null, then we are going to update Salesforce. So here again, my Salesforce connector that has been configured there. And on the left, you have like a good practice for error catcher that can be transformed, sent to a global error handler, and so on and so on. That is a good practice that you can have with app integration. Okay. So that's the first thing. Basically, the template are here as a library from Google, and we're gonna update it more and more with the time, with new use case and new stuff to do. Yes, Laurie?
What kind of license you use for this template? So let's say if I am as a customer using this template, should I pay something? Should I can't yet change something? Or what kind of license you use?
Yeah, no, this is completely free and included in the platform. We are not charging for anything there. It's really like you could see it as like even like kind of documentation in a way. We are like providing example, and then you can reuse this example, and you can decide how to transform them or to use them. There is absolutely nothing that will be built regarding the templates. Okay. So that's the first part. The second part is to create your own template, because template is as well a governance tool. It's a way for you to say from an integration. Let me take I don't know what I can take, anything. This is very small one. Yeah, let's take the ServiceNow that I created before. So actually, it's a good use case. You say, okay, this is the way to connect to ServiceNow. Like this is the way for agent or for app to connect to ServiceNow. And I want this to be an internal template in my company. I don't want every people to always like build new kind of workflow to connect to ServiceNow. So I build a connection to ServiceNow, which by the way, could be like only few people that have access to the credential. It's not, and some people could use the connector without having the right to even access the platform. Okay, so that's like a governance kind of like a strategy that you can have here. And on top of that, I want to have a template that is the template for agent to connect to ServiceNow. So in any integration that you have, you can create a template from this integration. Okay. So that's what I'm doing now. I will say that this is the ServiceNow template. Okay, you can select a category. So we put it in AI machine learning here. And you can make a description, you can put tags, and as you say in the description, like how to use it as well with Markdown if you want, to basically explain how you create your template. You create your template, which is now part not on the Google basically section, but on your project template. So this is the Google template section. This is the project template section, where I will find my ServiceNow template created now in this morning. And this template that has been just created right now, I can share it, and I can share it in my it's by default is shared in the project. Like once it's created, like all the other people using my project can reuse it and use it to create their own integration. And I can share it as well with another project. So they are like you can combine them like by project to basically push them somewhere else. Okay. And you will see your shared template. I don't think I have any there, but if someone shared me, oh yeah, if someone share me like a shared template to me, I will see basically where they are coming from, and I can see them there. Do we have any question about templates?
Can we upload our own templates here, and what kind of agreement, if it's possible, we need to have?
So you're talking about the global templates, I assume, right? As a partner, yeah. Not yet. For the moment, you cannot add your template as a partner within the global templates. That's something that might come one day, but it's not for the moment. You can do it like with a customer, but not going through this global template, but basically building your own integration and then having your agreement with the customer. And then you could propose it as a project template, but that's more manual, manual action that you will put more than being like a global visibility of the template. So maybe you're aware that we do that for marketplace connectors. Today, you can create your connector as a partner and pushing it to the marketplace. But unfortunately, for template, it's not the case for the moment.
I see. Thank you very much for answer.
Okay. Any more question on this? Okay, then let me finish with just a cool demo that I want to show you to finish on app integration. I told you that that Gemini was an important part of app integration. And I just want to show you a bit more than slide. When you're in integration, you want to create your own structure. You want to create a new integration. Basically, you can just ask Gemini to help you create your first integration. So if you're not using a template and if you don't want to start from a blank page, you can just go there and let me do something like this. You create your prompt, okay, and you generate like an integration. That's like, okay, I want to trigger at the beginning, then do a JavaScript, and after you want to download a file with a cloud storage, and then at the end I want to update the file somewhere. So you will do that. You will select your name. You will put your region, and then that will create the whole structure for integration that you can refine, of course, and it can change later. So that's the first thing, like generating integration with Code Assist with Gemini. And just bringing, for it to finish, to show you the second one. So what we can do as well today is generate JavaScript. And I think this is very important because integration, often, we see it as glue code, not like a code that is so much, like a business and so much business. And you want to do that quickly. If you have, for example, an input and an output, you want a way to do that very simply in the platform. One of the ways to do it is to use, as a moment, you can generate JavaScript using Gemini Code Assist. So let's imagine that you want to have a prompt like this. Yeah, I will tell you what. I like this script because what I'm going to do here is basically very simply can be done by anybody. I want you to basically do a transformation, okay? Like, and one of the good practices would be to have like the variable input and the variable input. If you know the name already, because then you don't even have to touch your JavaScript after, and you just give it an example of what you have in input and what you have in output. And you say, please make the data mapping. I have just 2 examples of variable. I just want you to make the match between both. And here you'll see that you can guess that actually it's a filtering mapping that I want to have here. So I want him to get rid of like this, which is not in the output, like label contract as well, not in the output. But that's it. I just will give him 1 example of input and 1 output, and just ask him to do the job. And it worked very well. I'm like using this all the day. You can get addicted to this, to be honest, because you will win so much time. It will get only basically you will filter out like what you don't need from the input that it didn't find from the output, and it will just put it to the right variables. And that's it. You don't have to do anything. It will work just like this. So if you didn't test it there already, yeah, that's a good idea to try. Okay, we are almost at the end. Any question for me in general? Huh? Not necessarily for the things I yes, Marie.
So there is no new product from Google. It's called Agent Space. I just quickly take a look your videos that you shared in chat, but there is no any mention about it. So what is your takeaway here? I mean, how we can integrate application integration into this Agent Space reality, because it's enterprise level product, it's new one, and I guess it will be hot topic.
Of course, you're totally right, and that's like hot topic for everybody, and we have the time mentioning it. So, I mean, there is some, let's say, some internal information that I cannot like share publicly, but I can at least tell you that integration and connector is like a critical platform for the AI platform in general for Google Cloud. So the way we are organized is actually integration and connectors are part of the AI product organization. So let's say that we just collaborate together, like the Agent Space and the integration and connector engineers. So there is some work that is done there, but it's more like internal things. What you can do right now, which is something that I have seen some customer, is that Agent Space has a certain amount of connectors today. Like it's not all the connectors that for example we provide are available in Agent Space. You can use app integration to basically fetch data from place that Agent Space does not support it yet, and basically push it to a place where Agent Space can search into it. The example I have for the customer was in intranet. His intranet was not supported by Agent Space to search in, so he used app integration to get like whenever there is a new article, he's just getting this from the intranet, push it in place like Google Drive or cloud storage, you decide which one, and then Agent Space can search into the content that has been fetched by application integration. I think that right now that's one of the things you can do, and it's a cool use case because you can get Agent Space even in more platform than you can do today. In the future, we have stuff planned, but I cannot really share that as of today. But yeah, we will hopefully like some nice feature or nice news will come at least this year.
Yeah, I'm leader of API integration platform, and that's why asking, because we have got access to Agent Space, and I would like to build some probably solutions, in advance. Thank you very much for explanation.
Look at the when Agent Space will let you create custom agents. That's where like what you've seen on the video, which is not with Agent Space, with conversion agents. That's where definitely like Apigee integration and connector will make sense, because you want the agent in the custom agent from Agent Space that will be able to connect to this platform. But as of right now, we are more in the search agent, so that's why like the way it works is more to feed data to Agent Space, like you will do for any RAGs. To be clear, like we can feed data to Agent Space, we could feed to any LLM RAGs as well. That will work.
I see. Thank you.
We are just in time, Alexandra, I think.
Thanks, Simon. So thanks everyone for joining us in today's session. And thanks to you, Simon, for this great session. Now, everyone, I've shared with you a quick poll that you can find in the 3-shape icon that you will see here in the Google Meet. So if you could spare just a few seconds to share your feedback on how you find this event, it'll be really valuable to us. And if you want to share more in-depth feedback, you can scan the QR code, or when we send the recording, we'll send the link to the feedback survey. Actually, I also saw that already Simon shared with you the article by Matt, Powering Agentic Experience through App Integration. So, but here you have in this deck more resources for application integration. When we make this deck available for you through the Google Cloud community, all of these have hyperlinks, so you will be able to access these articles. One is actually one from Simon, in which he walks us through how Apigee and app integration are a synergy for enterprise integration. We also have application integration templates from Matt, also CI/CD for this same technology. And a last one on how to enable and analyze execution logs and cloud logging for app integration. So these resources will be available for you through the Google Cloud community. And for what's next coming along, we look forward to seeing you next Thursday for this session that we'll be having with Pulkit, a customer engineer in application integration and Apigee. He'll be covering application integration in data platforms and unit tests, plus continuous integration and continuous development. Don't forget to join us at the Google Cloud community. Take a look at the Apigee and application integration forums. Share your questions over there. And with that, nothing more to say. We look forward to seeing you soon. And once again, thanks. Go ahead, Ludi.
Do you plan any in-person trainings for the application integration in nearest future?
I would say that's something we can possibly have into consideration. So thanks for sharing that. We'll have that in mind.
Yeah, I think we need to plan that. That's really a good idea. But this is something we thought about, and I hope that we can share this with you soon. But there is nothing already planned in my knowledge. There is all the labs you can have online and so on, but for physical training, I don't think it exists yet.
Yeah, I do remember Matthew Feigl mentioned that they planned, but if you will organize such a session, it would be good.
But another thing about, so there was one like for partner last year. I think it was in December. So yeah, that's something I can check with Matt. It was in Paris. That probably there will be more as well planned, but I need to check it.
Okay, yeah, I'm interested in it.
Yeah, definitely. If you're in contact with Matt, Laurie, I guess you are. You can check with him as well.
Sure.
All righty, everyone. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and I see you next Thursday. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
See you, bye.